You are running out of time. And I don't mean that in the cliché motivational sense where people tell you to work harder or chase your dreams. I mean it literally. 2 days until your exam. 2 days until your performance is measured, judged, and written into the record of your life. Yet here you are, distracted, stagnant, and unprepared. You already know this feeling. The crushing weight in your chest when you glance at your notes, realizing you haven't even touched half of the syllabus. The guilt when you open a book, but your eyes feel like they're bleeding after only 30 minutes. The endless cycle of promising yourself just 5 more minutes on TikTok, Instagram, or YouTube before you begin. And before you realize it, an entire hour disappears into the void. The truth is simple. You are addicted. Not to books, not to knowledge, but to dopamine. You think you have a focus problem, but you don't. Your brain is not broken beyond repair. What is broken is the reward system you've built for yourself. Cheap dopamine has hijacked your mind. Every scroll, every notification, every quick laugh video. They are not harmless distractions, they are chains. Chains that you have willingly wrapped around your own neck. And when exam day comes and your parents look at you with those silent eyes filled with expectation, when the paper lands on your desk and your mind turns blank white like untouched snow, you will know exactly why you failed. It wasn't because you were stupid. It wasn't because you didn't have the potential. It was because you handed over your focus in exchange for a moment of meaningless pleasure. I know this because I was there. I wasn't born disciplined. I wasn't born focused. I was once the same student who hid behind excuses, who believed, maybe next time I'll do better, who drowned in guilt after every wasted day. My eyes used to ache just from staring at a textbook for 30 minutes. I thought something was wrong with me, but there wasn't. The only thing wrong was the fact that I lived like everyone else. Distracted. Wait. Predictable. But then came the breaking point. The moment I decided enough was enough. The day I made the greatest comeback of my life. Within a single month, I went from being dismissed as a failure to being at the top of my class. My classmates accused me of cheating. Teachers whispered behind my back. But none of them knew the truth. None of them knew that the transformation came down to a few cold, tactical decisions. 5 steps that anyone could take, but most are too weak to attempt. So listen carefully. Because what I'm about to tell you will decide whether you remain stuck in mediocrity or rise into a level of focus most people will never experience. First, cut the poison. That means deleting every platform that is designed purely to steal your attention. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever it is, remove it. Not temporarily, permanently. Don't lie to yourself and say you'll only use it a little bit. That's what every addict says. An addict doesn't control the drug. The drug controls the addict. And right now, you are the addict. Second, adopt the work first, reward later mindset. Stop treating entertainment as the baseline of your day. Stop watching another episode of your favorite series before you study. Instead, reverse it. Earn the right to watch it by finishing the work first. When you do this, you rewire your brain. You remind yourself that reward comes after effort. Not before it. Not during it. After it. Third, accountability. Write down the activities that are wasting your life. Look at them brutally. Ask yourself, did scrolling through reels help me get closer to my exam? Did gossiping in group chats make me smarter? Did opening 12 tabs at once make me productive? If the answer is no, then those activities are parasites, and you are feeding them. Cut them off. These 3 steps alone can already put you ahead of most students, because most will never attempt them. They would rather live in denial, insisting that their focus will magically return when the exam gets closer. But you know as well as I do it won't. Let me expose something darker. Every time you give in to cheap dopamine, every time you click another pointless video instead of studying, you are not just wasting time. You are making yourself weaker. Your brain adapts. It gets comfortable with short-term stimulation. It learns to avoid anything that requires effort. And eventually, it loses its ability to do deep work entirely. Think about that. Think about what it means for your future. If you can't even sit for an hour to prepare for a quiz, how do you expect to survive in the real world? The truth is you won't. You will always be outrun by those who built the patience to do what you can't. This is where the illusion cracks. You think you are in control of your habits. You think you can stop at any time. But the truth is you are no different from a goldfish. Both of you share the same attention span. Both of you drift from one shiny thing to the next, unable to focus on anything meaningful. That is why you are stuck. That is why you fail. But you can reset. You can detox. You can rewire your brain back to its default. It isn't the dopamine itself that is the problem. It is the source. Cheap dopamine shatters your focus. But deep dopamine earned from hard work builds it. At first, you will resist it. You will think studying without distractions is torture. You will crave the noise of background music, the rush of notifications, and the comfort of endless scrolling. But if you endure, if you persist for even 1 week, something changes. You begin to feel rewarded from deep work itself. You begin to crave the effort instead of the escape. Replace reels with books. Replace short clips with longer, meaningful content. Replace junk food with a disciplined diet. Remove music while studying. And eliminate the most lethal dopamine hit of them all, pornography. Because nothing rots your brain faster than the false pleasure of a screen replacing real achievement. By following these pillars, your brain will reset. And once it resets, you can fill it with your studies. This is the first step in your comeback. But it's not the last. Because even if you remove distractions, there is still another enemy waiting to destroy you. Procrastination. You felt it before. You sit at your desk ready to work. 5 minutes and you check your phone. You open YouTube in another tab. You wait for the clock to hit a certain number before you really begin. Before you know it, another hour is gone. The task wasn't hard. The subject wasn't impossible. Was you. You doomed yourself. And here is the harsh reality. Procrastination doesn't just waste your time. It destroys your strength. Every time you procrastinate, you reinforce weakness. You teach yourself to hesitate, to avoid, to delay. And over time, hesitation becomes who you are. So how do you kill it? 3 cold rules. Rule 1, do it now. If a subject feels difficult, don't delay it. Tackle it first. Because what you avoid only grows bigger in your mind. Rule 2, the 2-minute trick. Tell yourself to just start for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is nothing. And once you begin, you realize it wasn't as difficult as you believed. Rule 3, set deadlines. Without a deadline, procrastination has unlimited room to expand. With a deadline, it suffocates. This is the system. Cold, precise, and merciless. But before I continue, let me ask you something important. If you've listened this far and you're still not subscribed, what does that say about you? Think carefully. Because it means you are the type of person who consumes knowledge but refuses to commit. You take without giving. You hesitate when action is required. And if you can't even move your finger to subscribe, what makes you believe you will ever move your life forward? If you won't subscribe, then at least leave a comment explaining why you choose to stay weak. Explain why you choose excuses over commitment. Because if you don't, deep down you already know the truth. You are afraid. And fear has already won. You think procrastination is harmless. That's just a temporary delay. But in reality, it is the greatest thief of potential. Every time you hesitate, every time you convince yourself, I'll start later, you reinforce weakness. Weakness doesn't announce itself loudly. It grows quietly. Like rust eating away at steel, procrastination eats away at your discipline until nothing is left. Picture this. You sit at your desk telling yourself you'll start after just 1 more video. Then another. Then another. By the time you finally begin, your mind is restless. You can't focus. You skim through your notes, pretending it counts as studying, but nothing sticks. Hours pass. And then you close the book, convincing yourself that tomorrow will be better. But tomorrow is never better. Tomorrow is just the same failure repeated. If this is the life you are living, you are already behind. And while you waste hours convincing yourself that the task is too hard, someone else, someone quieter, someone focused, is overtaking you. That person doesn't need to be smarter than you. They only need to be consistent. And because you gave in to procrastination, you handed them your victory. But the cycle can be broken. You break it by removing choice. You break it by adopting the mindset that when a task appears, you do it now. Not later. Not after comfort. No. Think about it. How many times have you feared a subject only to finally study it and realize it was simpler than you believed? Your brain is your enemy in these moments. It exaggerates the difficulty of protecting you from effort. But the brain is a liar. And the only way to silence it is action. This is why the 2-minute trick is powerful. You don't tell yourself, I will study for hours. You tell yourself, I will start for 2 minutes. 2 minutes is not threatening. 2 minutes bypasses resistance. And once you begin, momentum builds. What was once impossible becomes manageable. Deadlines too are weapons. When you give yourself unlimited time, procrastination flourishes. But when you impose a strict deadline, your brain activates survival mode. Suddenly, the distractions lose their power. Suddenly, you move with urgency. But even after defeating procrastination, there remains a deeper enemy. An invisible one. Multitasking. Right now, as you listen to me, how many tabs do you have open? For most of you, the answer is more than one. A chat window, a social media feed, a playlist running in the background, and you still wonder why you cannot focus. Studies show multitasking reduces productivity by up to 40%. 40% of your potential stolen in silence without you realizing it. The mind was not designed to split attention across endless tabs and endless screens. The mind was designed to focus deeply on one task at a time. And yet you sabotage yourself daily. You chase the illusion that doing many things at once makes you efficient, but the truth is the opposite. You are scattering your strength into pieces so small that they can achieve nothing. There is only one rule to fix this. The one-tab rule. Close every window except the one that matters. No music. No videos in the background. No conversations open on the side. One screen. Full screen. Press F11. Immerse yourself in the task as if nothing else exists. Because in that moment, nothing else does. Your mind will resist. It will throw random thoughts at you, whispering, check this, open that. Do not obey. Instead, write those distractions down on a piece of paper. They will wait for you, but your focus will not. And if you are still too weak, use weapons outside yourself. Apps that block distractions. Cold turkey. Focus app. Tools designed to protect you from your own lack of control. Use them until you no longer need them. But even here, there is another trap. Many of you will study for hours. You will fill notebooks with words. You will watch countless lecture videos. And yet, when the exam comes, your mind will be empty. White as paper. What? Because you were never truly learning. You were tricking yourself with passive learning. Passive learning is an illusion. It feels safe because it feels easy. Reading notes over and over convinces you that you know them. Watching a lecture gives you the illusion of understanding. But when the moment comes to recall the knowledge, you collapse. Because you never tested yourself. This is why active recall is non-negotiable. It is uncomfortable. It is demanding. But it is the only path to mastery. Active recall forces you to close your notes and summon the knowledge from memory. At first you will fail. You will stumble. But every failure strengthens the neural pathway. Every recall attempt burns the knowledge deeper into your brain. 3 methods will weaponize this for you. First, convert your notes into questions. Not summaries. Questions. Force your brain to answer without looking. Second, flashcards. Apps like Quizlet can turn revision into a battlefield where every question is a test of strength. Do not look at the answers until you have exhausted every attempt. Third, the Feynman technique. Teach the material to someone else, or to an imaginary student sitting beside you. If you cannot explain it simply, you do not understand it. Passive learning is for the herd. Active recall is for those who rise above. And if you want results, you must choose which side you stand on. Here is a tactical ratio. Spend 20% of your time studying and 80% testing yourself. This ratio feels extreme, but it is the difference between false confidence and unshakable memory. Most students waste hours reading. Few dare to test. That is why most fail. Now let me remind you of something important. You are not entitled to success. Success is not given to the distracted, to the weak, or to the hesitant. It is reserved only for those who can endure the discomfort others run from. And this is where I ask you again. If you are listening to me now and you are still not subscribed, what exactly are you proving? Can you consume lessons without commitment? That you can listen to the cold truth and remain unchanged? If you refuse to subscribe, then I want you to type in the comments the exact reason why. Write your excuse in public. Expose it for everyone to see. Because if you cannot even defend your own weakness, then weakness has consumed you completely. And if you are afraid to even comment, then understand this. Your fear owns you. Not the exam. Not the distraction. Fear. They tell you to chase happiness. To follow your passion. To trust in motivation as if it were the air you breathe. But I will tell you the truth. Happiness is fragile. Passion fades. Motivation dies the moment discomfort enters. And the world is built in such a way that discomfort will always enter. If you rely on these illusions, you will collapse the moment reality presses its weight against you. I will not feed you dreams. I will strip them away. You think you are free, but every second you waste proves otherwise. Every wasted day is proof that you are not in control, that you are a prisoner. Not in chains made of steel, but in chains made of distraction, fear, laziness, and weakness. And these chains do not break on their own. You either tear them apart or you rot inside them. Look around you. The average student, the average worker, the average person. They wake, they scroll, they consume, they complain. They run from silence. They run from stillness. They run from responsibility. What? Because in silence the truth appears. And the truth terrifies them. The truth is that they are wasting their lives. The clock ticks. And it does not care about your excuses. Time does not care about your feelings. It does not wait for your motivation to arrive. It does not pause while you doubt yourself. Every second gone is unrecoverable. And yet, you throw them away for cheap dopamine, empty entertainment, worthless validation. You treat your life as disposable. Do you think anyone will care? Do you think the world will weep for your wasted potential? It won't. Nobody will mourn the dreams you buried under comfort. They will forget you as if you never existed. That is the cold reality. And perhaps that is why you are here, because some part of you feels it. The creeping dread. The whisper that you are not doing enough. That you are not becoming who you should be. I will tell you why. It is not because you lack talent. It is not because the world is unfair. It is because you refuse to take control. You refuse to discipline your mind. You refuse to sharpen your focus. You refuse to do the hard things without waiting to feel ready. And readiness will never come. Action comes first. Readiness follows. The weak wait for permission. The strong create it. There is a reason the greatest minds and the most powerful individuals seem almost detached. Cold. Unshaken. It is not because they lack emotion. It is because they control it. Emotional discipline is power. If your enemies can predict your reactions, they can control you. If distractions can pull you away at will, you are nothing but a puppet. But if you master silence, focus, and restraint, you become unreadable, untouchable, dangerous. Let me give you a story. Thousands of years ago, tribes hunted together. The one who panicked in the face of danger exposed the group. The one who froze, who hesitated, who screamed when silence was required, he doomed them all. Control was survival. The man who could keep calm under fear, who could move without hesitation, was the one who lived. That man became the leader. That man became the blueprint for survival. And the same law applies today, though the battlefield has changed. Now the predators you face are not lions. They are distractions, temptations, endless streams of content designed to break your focus and rot your brain. They are systems that thrive on your weakness. Platforms engineered to capture your attention. Companies that profit from your inability to resist. Every scroll is a chain tightening around your mind. And you tighten it yourself. You are not the victim, you are the willing participant. Do you understand the weight of this? You are not failing because the world is against you. You are failing because you hand the world your time on a silver platter. You fail because you surrender. Because you refuse to fight. Because you choose the easy over the necessary. And let me tell you this, you will regret it. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow. But one day you will wake up and realize that years have vanished. You will look in the mirror and see someone you no longer recognize. A stranger with wasted potential, dulled eyes, and a heavy regret that cannot be erased. And in that moment you will beg for a second chance. But you will not get one. Time does not negotiate. If you think this is harsh, it is because you still cling to comfort. But understand, comfort is the slowest poison. It kills silently. It numbs you, convinces you that you are safe while it steals your life from under you. And most people will die with comfort wrapped around their necks like a noose. That is their destiny. But it does not have to be yours. And before I continue, let me make this clear. If you have not subscribed, then you are proving that weakness still controls you. You are proving that fear still dictates your decisions. Because you know that what I am saying cuts deep, but you refuse to commit. And if you cannot commit to something this simple, what makes you think you will commit to the harder things in life? If you are not subscribed, I want you to leave a comment right now explaining why. Explain your weakness. Explain your fear. And let the world see the truth you are too afraid to face. Now let us go deeper. The mind is programmable. This is not a metaphor. This is neuroscience. Your brain adapts to repetition. The more you feed it weakness, the more it normalizes weakness. The more you feed it distraction, the more it craves distraction. But the reverse is also true. Discipline rewires your mind. Focus sharpens it. Silence strengthens it. You are not trapped by biology, you are enslaved by your habits. Consider this. A soldier trains to act under fire. Not because he enjoys it, but because hesitation means death. His body and mind are drilled to move automatically, even when fear screams inside him. You must train the same way. Not for war with guns, but for war with yourself. Every time you resist distraction, every time you sit in silence, every time you complete the task despite discomfort, you are training your nervous system. You are carving new pathways in your brain. That is how you change. Not with motivation, with repetition, with systems, with cold, mechanical discipline. And yet, most people will never apply this. They will nod their heads, feel a spark of agreement, and then return to their scrolling. They will live and die inside that cycle. Do you see why I call them slaves? Because they cannot stop themselves. They know the truth, but they lack the strength to apply it. And so, they are doomed. You are at a crossroads. You can continue as they do, or you can choose to sever the chains. But make no mistake, this is not a gentle choice. If you want freedom, you must kill comfort. You must embrace suffering. You must cut away distractions like rotten flesh. You must become ruthless with your time. Otherwise, you will be forgotten. You are still here. That tells me something. Most people would have quit long ago. Most would have found an excuse. Most would have looked for comfort. But you stayed. You endured. You listened. And that means one thing: you already know the truth. You cannot return to the way you lived before. The illusions are broken. The distractions are exposed. The lies you told yourself are gone. You cannot unknow what I have told you. The only choice now is whether you act, or whether you allow yourself to rot in the same patterns that held you down. This is where people fail. Not because they didn't hear the truth, but because they refused to move after hearing it. They convinced themselves they would start tomorrow. But tomorrow never comes. They die waiting for the perfect moment. You will not have that excuse. You know what happens to those who delay. They are erased. Do you think the world will wait for you? Do you think time will pause until you are ready? No. It is moving without you. Every second you hesitate, someone hungrier than you is moving ahead. Someone colder, someone more disciplined, someone who already accepted the cost. And when you finally wake up, you will discover the race ended before you even left the starting line. That is why you must act now, not later. No. That is why I tell you, subscribe. Do not treat this like entertainment. If you are watching and not committing, you are not a student. You are a tourist. You consume, you nod, you smile, and then you go back to your weakness. Tourists do not survive in war. Tourists get eliminated. If you cannot even press one button to subscribe, how can you pretend you will conquer your own mind? If you refuse, go to the comments and admit it. Admit why you will stay weak, admit why you choose comfort. And watch the silence consume you. You need to face one fact: nobody is coming to save you. Not your friends. Not your family. Not your teachers. They are too busy fighting their own battles. Some of them have already given up. Some of them want you to give up too, so they won't feel alone. That is why you must cut away dependence. Stand apart. The stronger you become, the fewer allies you will have. Strength is isolating. It always has been. But isolation is not the end. It is the crucible. The place where you forge yourself into something unrecognizable. This is why you must learn to operate in silence. Discipline in silence. Build in silence. Because when the world finally sees you, it will already be too late for them. They will not understand how you transformed. They will not know the hours you bled into mastery. They will not see the nights you went without sleep, the days you endured pain. They will only see the finished weapon standing in front of them. And by then they will know resistance is pointless. This is your future, if you choose it. Cold, precise, ruthless. Not because you are cruel, but because you understand there is no other way. The world is not fair. The world does not care about your feelings. The world is only moved by strength, by intelligence, by those who refuse to be broken. If you are not one of them, you will serve them. That is your only alternative. So I ask you again, what will you do? Will you return to weakness, pretending you never heard me? Or will you step into the cold and never look back? You have already wasted too much time. You are running out of chances, out of excuses, out of tomorrows. Do not hesitate. Do not leave this undone. Subscribe now. Leave no way back. Force yourself forward. And if you lack the courage, at least confess it in the comments so the rest of us can see how fear controls you. I have nothing more to say. The rest is on you. Remember this: strength does not ask permission. It takes. It adapts. It survives. Be one of the few who understand, or be forgotten with the many who never tried. The choice is yours, and it always has been.